I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better.
Okay, Eli, give it to me.
The following contains offensive language and spoilers. Listener discretion is advised.
I don't know that one.
God Save the Queen.
Yeah,
It was on episode 1. Sex
It was
Pistols,
on
yo.
episode 1. Okay. First and the beginning of it. Okay, I'm sorry. I had the themes all of it. Anyway, welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. We're Nurse New Bully, your host Leroy, aka the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. With my co-host.
Yeah, this is Eli, aka Cherry Limeade.
What that is a reference to something. What is that a reference to?
Sonic.
Everybody's talking about because no, I get that, but everybody's talking about Cherry Limeade on my timeline right now.
Really?
Like, did I miss something? Yes. Everybody's talking about Cherry Limeade on my timeline right now. I'm like, what's so special? Did I miss something? Did it do a sale this week or something? Or?
So I made a pop reference, a pop culture reference. I don't even know.
I guess you're part of the zeitgeist now. I guess I don't know.
Whoa, man!
Am
I the AI? Man?
You made it. Shout out. As a matter of fact, shout out to the AI.
Shout out to the AI.
I'm going to name him. His name is Iverson. There we go.
Okay.
It may stick, it may not. We'll see how it goes. All right. Yeah. So we're going to start off this podcast. And even though we got a little pep in our step this week, we're going to bring it down a little bit because something happened this week. We had a few deaths that we had to talk about. Now, Eli, I know we're going to break out one rule because you gave us a rule on the podcast that we can't do. And you know me, I'm good for sticking to rules on this podcast. But so one of the rules that we can't talk about other YouTube podcasts or other
platforms shit. Here. That's right. Yeah.
We're gonna talk about it. But like I said, we're gonna break the one rule because the rule we're gonna break is I want to say rest in peace to Benny Potter, aka Comic Historian. Now, Eli, before I go forward, do you even know who this is?
I do, yes.
You do know who this is. Okay. Yeah. Look at you with your finger on the pulse.
I know. I'm aware. I'm a fucking nerd. What do you expect?
Okay. So here's the thing. So some of you listen to the podcast don't know who this is, but I guarantee you, and I've looked at the analytics, the majority of you that listen to the podcast know who this is. You probably know who that is before you know who we are.
Yeah.
So, because the thing is, for people that don't know who Comic Story is, like I said, Benny Potter is one of the OGs of comic book YouTubing. Like he started on the ground floor, on the ground level. Like when this first started, really got going. He was one of the ones that started it, and he was one of the biggest ones that was at it at the time. We have a small footprint on YouTube and other platforms, social medias right now, where he was in the millions. Like he had millions of followers, millions of views, doing stuff like that. So he had those videos. Matter of fact, his traffic affected our traffic. That's how big he was. Like when you go searching for, I want to know what X-Men such and such is. You're going to hit his podcast first. You're going to hit his numbers first. And then it trickles down to the stuff we do later on. So so everybody knows about him first. That's why, like I started doing all these, these YouTube reviews and stuff, like these comic book reviews. A lot of them I won't do and can't do because he already did them like 10 years ago and it got like 25 million views. So it's like, there's no reason for me to do Infinity Gauntlet because he already did it and it's bigger than anything else.
Yeah.
So that's the point of that one. Yes. So, like I said, huge, did a lot of numbers, pretty much like the Injustice. He pretty much did Injustice, like that whole comic review. The whole review is like fucking 10 hours. He did it. It's got like music reviews, stuff like that. So he did a bunch of numbers. That's the thing. So give a shout out to him. A lot of our podcasts, what we do, even though we're very niche, very underground, that's why we don't really share this out. I know when we even started this podcast, you like, also, this isn't made for everybody. You're either into it or you're not. This isn't a relationship podcast or a life coaching podcast. No, we talk about comic books. So it ain't for everybody. But part of what we do was inspired from what he did. So shout out to Benny. Also, I want to say one more thing. Marvel and DC, y'all need to do something for him. Because he brought a lot of attention to y'all. He ain't toxic. That's what I'm saying. You got good people like him going. You got all these other toxic motherfuckers running around here, but we're not going to talk about that.
No shit. Yeah, that's
what I'm saying, man.
That's a good point. That's actually a good point.
People leaving, man. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So,
You know, I mean, it's like, yeah, everyone's like cashing in on outrage. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That seems to what like, yeah, and that's bullshit. Because we could do that. Yeah. We could totally do that.
We never could. We could do that.
Yeah, but it's stupid. We don't. Yeah, we're just we're sick of that shit. You know.
Right, and they're at the point now, Eli. They don't even pretend like they're not doing it. They're still telling you they're grifting. Like, yeah, we're grifting. We don't care.
Yeah, it gets us hits.
That gets us a hit. We're doing it. They're telling you they're doing it. So yeah. Meanwhile, you got good people like that actually putting work into it. What's some of the review? Injustice. Injustice was a good review. Pretty much he made the Injustice comic because it hit right when the game hit. Everybody was like, well, what about the game? Because everybody thought the comic was just another comic. When he did it the way he did it, that shit was like a movie. So his Injustice review of the comic is better than the video game. So definitely check him out. Definitely do that. Marvel, DC, do something for him. Just like when one of your guys that you in your bullpen, you know, pass away, stuff like that, you do something in this insert. Do something for Benny.
Yeah.
Benny helped out way more than y'all think he did.
Yeah. And that's what I keep seeing. Like, I wasn't a regular follower of him. I mean, but I was aware of him. But yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people were saying like they checked out certain comic runs because of him, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It was up to him. So he started, and it's other guys. It's like huge guys up there also. But like I said, we're not going to get to that.
Comics Explained and am I breaking the rules?
See, you're breaking your own rule. You know? I was not trying to go there.
Sorry.
It don't matter. It don't matter. You know what, Eli? I'm such an asshole that I will tag those guys in before this shit. I will tag them. Comics Explained, comics. The reason I tag them because they're so big. They're like, hopefully we'll
fuck it, Cape Joel.
Cape Joel. I tag all those guys. I'm like, man, maybe we can get some of their traffic, you know, come down here. So, oh shit. Let's see. So hold on.
Hey, Jakey Poo's in the house.
We've been ignoring Jake. I'm sorry, Jake. We didn't mean to be you. You biggest guy. We appreciate you, Jake.
Yes.
We hopefully you check out Comic Story, Jake. You might like them, but hell. We appreciate Jake and everybody else. So yeah. So that's all I want to say. We're moving on past that. Rest in peace to Comic Story and rest in peace to Benny. His wife did not say what happened. So anybody thinks they know what happened, you don't know what happened. Stop spreading rumors. Yeah. So
that's what have a good journey, sir. Yeah.
Have a good journey. We're almost done, Eli. We got another one. Okay. Now, also because like I said, you know, I'm a big basketball fan. So I gotta say this. This was real quick. Rest in peace to Jerry West. You know, when top 570 basketball players of all time up there, won championships with the Lakers, won championships as a GM, also like that. Him in his younger days like that. Eli, does that look familiar? That pose or the dribble?
Oh shit! I guess does now.
Okay, yeah, he's the logo. So the logo is based on him. Matter of fact, that was his nickname, the logo. Not only was his nickname logo because the logo is based off him, because he used to shoot the basket from the logo from half court and would hit that shit before the 3-point line was even invented. He was a really, really, really good player. So that's all. Just want to put that out there. Rest in peace to Jerry West.
Rest in peace. Good journey to him too.
Yeah. Now, can we move on past that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Now we're going to talk about it. Like I said, I saw a TV show. Eli also saw a TV show, but we're going to talk about it. And we may be the only ones because I haven't really seen too much traffic about this. Other shows have been taking up a lot of the traffic, but we're going to bring you news on it. We're going to talk about The Boys. The Boys. Okay. Now, Eli, I know some people that have never heard of this show, never seen this show, anything like that. I'm like, where have y'all been?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's like season 4 right now.
Maybe Prime isn't as big as we thought it was.
Maybe it's not. How does he compare to MJ? Nobody compares to MJ. Not even LeBron James. But we're not going to go there. This isn't that podcast. But we're gonna talk about The Boys real quick. Okay, so The Boys is now on season 4. We're on season 4 right now. They just finished season 3. I don't know, like 2 years ago, a year ago. I don't know.
It's been a while. It feels like it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since it happened. Season 3, in my opinion, was far and away their best season.
It was.
It was doing so much stuff. It was funny. It was hitting. It had some classic scenes. Herogasm.
Yeah.
You can't forget it. It just had some classic scenes. You had what's the guy's name? The guy from Supernatural. Can't remember his name.
some not super patriot. He was like a Captain America type
Soldier Boy, like a
Soldier Boy, yeah.
And then he was rapping Blondie's
yeah, Rapture. Yeah,
Rapture. He was rapping that shit. Like that's the dumbest shit ever, man. But it was hilarious over there. Homelander was just bringing it. I was like, man, it was awesome. So when you do that, what do you do after that? And I'll be honest with you, I said some controversial shit in like another movie group that I was in that I think they might have kicked me out because I said that shit. But what I said was the season 4 of most TV shows are their worst season. That's all I said.
You know what? The first thing I thought of was Community.
Season 4 was their worst season.
Season 4 is when Dan Harmon got canned.
He got canned.
And he wasn't on that season.
They had some other guys trying to write like Dan Harmon.
Yeah.
And it hit. Now, I'm not saying every season 4 is bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying out of your favorite TV shows, when you think about season 4 is normally the worst. Now, you have people, fuck you. Wire was the best season 4 in Breaking Bad. I didn't watch all this shit. Sorry. I'm just saying the shit I saw. Season 4 is usually the worst season. So yeah. What do we got here? There's no bad season created. I hate to say that, Jake. That's the reason it got canceled. Although I will say this, season 6 is highly underrated.
It is
highly underrated.
Yeah, the one that was on, was it Yahoo? Yahoo. It went to Yahoo. Yeah, remember Yahoo had a streaming service for a little bit, and season 6 went to Yahoo.
Now that you say that, now I remember that.
Yeah,
like, Yahoo.
But that was pretty good.
It was, because I didn't watch it. I was like, I don't want to watch this shit on Yahoo. But then I think I watched it like on Netflix. Or
it's on Netflix and all that shit.
Yeah, and I watched it. I was like, wait, this isn't bad. It's actually like some episodes were there. The paintball episode was probably one of their best paintball episodes.
Those were always good. Always the paintball episode.
Yeah, but that one was like extra good. It was like, there's no reason it should be this good on season 6. Hold up, we got here. Are we going to review the No, we will not. Sorry, Jake, we will not. If you read even the first issue of the comic, you will realize why we won't review that.
I'm sure we mentioned it here and there.
We have mentioned it plenty of times. Anytime we talk about boys, we're like, don't read the comic, basically. I have my issue with the comics. Eli says he has issue with comics. The TV show is much better than the comic. It just is. So.
I mean, yeah, the comic is a lot more violent and more
it's shock value just for shock value.
Yeah. It's Garth Ennis. I mean,
Yeah.
And as we all know, Garth Ennis hates superheroes.
Right. And that's what the boys are about. His hatred for superheroes. He can just have them doing the worst possible shit ever.
Yeah. Superheroes are assholes, and that's what this show is.
and it goes a little deeper in the comic. I know we say we weren't going to talk about the comic. I guess we're going to talk about the comic now. It goes a little deeper because you got like parodies of Teen Titans, parody of the Batman and Robin he did. That shit lives in my head. I saw that shit. I was like, I can't unsee that.
Is that the guy on the moon when he was?
See, half the shit we can't even say. They go way too far. They go way too far in that comic. So yeah.
When he was fondling himself on the skyscraper to the moon, right? Wasn't it? What the? Oh God, yeah.
We can't. No. Honestly, the comic is disturbing. It disturbs me. I don't know about Eli, what his threshold is. The comic disturbs me.
Well, Hero-gasm in the comic is way more disturbing and fucked up than you see on the show.
Right. And the show is pretty fucked up. Some people just like, I'm out. I can't. Oh man. So yeah, that's what's going on there. So all right. So what do we think about season 4? Like I said, personally, I was thinking about season 4 is the worst season 4s of the show. To me, starting off Eli, so far it seems like this might be the worst season. Not bad. Like I said, I watched the first 3 episodes. I think the 3rd episode was my favorite out of the 3, but it felt like they're kind of running out of steam a little bit. They're kind of retreading a little stuff. They're trying to come up with new stuff, but I don't know if it's hitting like it was before. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I only watched the first episode.
Yeah.
And yeah, after watching that first episode, I didn't feel compelled to, I got to see the next one. So
is that because you feel like you've seen this before?
Well, I felt, yeah, a bit, because I remember like the end of season 3, there was all this momentum going in. I mean, there was a way to defeat Homelander and shit, take away his powers and all that shit. So I felt they just like kind of reset everything going into the season again.
Right.
And we're just back.
Did that at the end of every other season also.
Yeah, and then now we're just back to status quo. How do we take out Homelander? Right. And what Homelander's cooking up another scheme to, of world domination.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just okay, I've seen this before. So there wasn't really anything in that first episode that really wowed me. It was more violent shit. The violence is there, the gore is there, the satire is there.
They've ramped up the violence.
Yeah. And the satire.
Almost to perverted levels. It's like, okay, we haven't matched the comic. They still haven't matched the comic, but it's like they're getting closer to the comic.
Yeah. And the satire is there. They're making fun of superheroes. They're making fun of superhero movies, superhero comics,
Here's my thing, Eli. I think that's where the show is dropping the ball, the satire.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. The violence is always going to be there. The violence of the boys, that's what you come in and stuff like that. But I've always felt like the first 3 seasons of the boys, that the satire was the best thing about the show, because it satire everything. Because basically the superheroes are standing for everything. Celebrities, athletes, politicians, whatever you want to be, they're all that. However, I think in season 4, and you'll see it when you watch it, some more episodes of it, is that it always felt like it was subtext in the first 3 seasons. Like you there, but it's there. In 4, it's no longer subtext. It's text. It's there. It's in your face. They want you to understand that Homeland is Trump, and they shove that shit in your face as much as they can.
Yeah. I mean,
it's pretty much the plot of this season is blue state versus red state. That's what
he was on trial. Like episode 1, he was on trial.
Right. I think they even said something about like the election is on January 6th, something like that. They mentioned January 6th on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree. It's not as deep. It's not as clever as it was. Right.
It's not as clever as what it was.
So that's why I was like, oh, it's fine. It's there. Everything's there. It's just not hitting. Yeah, the steam, the thrill is gone, I guess. The steam is it's losing its steam. About the only thing I found interesting, and in that, and like I said, I only watched episode 1. The only thing I found interesting was her name Sage or something?
Sister Sage. I was just about to say that. Sister Sage so far is the runaway character there, and she gets better doing the other episode. Trying to
but just that,
Sister Sage,
just that initial conversation that she has with Homelander. When he goes and visits her, and how. I mean, she's that's her power. She's the smartest person on earth.
She's like the Lex Luthor, Ozymandias of the boys' world.
Yeah, and she's totally cynical. She's like, I ain't gonna wear. I don't want to join the 7. I'm not gonna wear no racist token superhero suit. And
right, they keep calling her Sister Sage. Like, no, my name is just Sage.
Sister. Yeah, she's like, I'm not gonna
Black
do that.
Falcon or some shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that shit. And what's the point? I'm not gonna feed into this bullshit. And she knows. The whole thing about regimes rising and falling and all that whole speech she did. I mean, that was pretty compelling, I thought, and she hit it right on the nose.
Right.
So
but in the later episodes, she's putting it into action, and that's the interesting shit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then and that's what I'd like to see more, because that's what I found interesting was her. And how Homelander is she's like, why no one wants to hear me? He's like, you're not going to listen to a black woman who's smarter than you, like she even knows she knows this shit, but then Homelander's like, well, I'm smart enough to listen. And I was like, whoa, okay.
Right. But even then, just like sports, you can already see the conflict between those two.
Yeah. Like we know how Homelander is. We know he's got ulterior motives, but it was still just that scene alone was like that. Okay. I'm paying attention now.
But it feels like Sister Sage might have ulterior motives. Like, what is her end game? It feels like she's planning some other shit behind the shit she's already planning.
Oh yeah, because when they went to the protest, and she's like, "Oh, these are Homelander fans."
Yeah,
who are like, basically, kind of racist assholes, basically.
Right.
And she did not give a shit when they got killed. you know. So again, I thought that was she's interesting. She's the interesting character, and so yeah, obviously more of her I'd like to see.
Yeah. Also, the other new character, Firecracker, she doesn't pop as much as Sister Sage does, but she has an interesting story also on the show. So basically, I'm trying to think, what's the best way to compare her? Okay, you know how all those right-wing Fox News TV shows have that chick that just saying the racist shit that all the white dudes saying?
Yeah,
That's her. So she's like one of these take care. But it's funny. It's funny the storyline they had going on. So she got some shit going on too. So she's basically Starlight, like her arch nemesis. So they're kind of like she's the anti-Starlight, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I want to see where that story goes too. So there is some interesting stuff in it. It's not a bad season at all. It's just not, it hadn't got me yet. I don't believe that. No, I think no, Jake. I heard that also they ended at the season 5. I don't know if you heard that, Eli, but yeah, they said season 5 is gonna be last.
Really? So there's one more season.
One more season.
I thought this was the last season.
No, the season after this is last season. Yeah.
Maybe I was, because I never watched Gen V. Maybe I was thinking Gen V was
right. And see, and that's the thing. Like, this doesn't really play into Gen V. There are some mentions of Gen V, but it's like if you didn't catch it, it's cool. You know, no, it's no such thing. It's not required viewing, if that makes any sense. At least not yet.
Okay. No.
So, but no, it's the next season of this going to be the last season. They said that's how they planned it to begin with, and I think it's a good point to end, because after a while you kind of running this longer than it needs to run, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, I'm still enjoying it so far. The new characters are interesting. Also, funny thing about it, now we know Homelander is Trump. We got that. But they're also saying, Anthony Starr said this, the actor, he also saying that he also threw a little bit extra of Homelander in the season also. He's basing Homelander on LeBron James. And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't know that. I'm not the basketball fan, so.
Okay, for the basketball fans, listen to it. I'll tell you why. And when he said that, I was like, oh shit, that I see it. Trump and LeBron James, actually, because the thing is, because he's getting older and he's starting to get gray in his hair, stuff like that. I passed his prime. You know, he's scared to know that. Meanwhile, his son is about to enter the 7. I just saw a clip of LeBron James with his son, you know, practicing with the LA Lakers. He's trying to get his son on the same team as him.
Okay.
But he doesn't want his son to outshine him. He wants to make sure he's in the spotlight. So when I saw that, I was like, interesting. Okay. Now that I didn't see that coming. So like I said, there's still some good stuff going on there. I do want to say this also. We got to talk about Mother's Milk for a second. I know nobody knows who that is, but I'm talking about this. Let's see if I can
I saw some memes. I don't know if I saw.
There we go. Okay. People are thinking that they recast Mother's Milk. They did not. It's the same guy. Same guy's been playing Mother's Milk. He just shaved and lost weight. That's all. So people think they cloned him and also like that and recast Low. It's the same guy that's been there. He does look different. I agree with you on that. He does look different. It was kind of took me for a second, but I'm like, it's the same guy. So that's my only thing. I just want to just mention that, and that's it. So overall, like I said, if you like The Boys, you'll like this season also. You may not love this season, and they may come up with some other episodes later on that may knock it out the park. I'm just saying, as of right now, I'm just like, it's cool, but at the same time, it's like we've been here before.
Yeah, like the violence is I'm used to the violence now. Like, okay, cool. Like, you know, the violence is there. You gotta keep me interested now.
Right.
Yeah, and I felt like Sage was the interesting part of that episode. Like I said, I only saw episode 1. So yeah. She's the only thing
they didn't pull a Jamie Foxx on this. No. They did not clone Mother's Milk on this show. What else we gotta say on that? Oh, you know how those assholes been review bombing Star Wars? They review bombing The Boys also. Because Frenchie has a boyfriend on the show.
Oh. Okay.
Like, why is everybody shocked on that? I mean, he's French. I mean, this that should be like the least shocking thing on the show like that. But I will say this, and that's always been the weak spot of The Boys to me. Always, anytime Frenchie and, you know, Kimiko go on their solo adventures and shit, that's always lost me. And it seems like that's more of this season than it's been before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's just me. It's like, it's cool. Like, get to the A plot. That's always the B plot, but I kind of don't care, especially her. I mean, even though I love her as an actor, like that's Katana from Suicide Squad, but still, but she's like Deadpool. Like nothing can happen to her, really.
Yeah.
They shoot and stab and chop her arms off like that. She just get back up. And...
well, that scene with her where she got the little baby on that was totally Deadpool.
Okay, that did remind me of Deadpool. That's like fucking she's Deadpool. Okay. All right. So that we say can move on to the next part of the podcast.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, slap a score. Right. What do you got? Episodes 1 through 3?
1, 2, 3. 3.5 out of 5. I'm gonna say 3.5 out of 5 because, like I said, it does feel like it's spinning wheels, and it's because the first other episodes of the other seasons, like by the time you get episode 3, they shut out the gate. Remember the very first 10 minutes of season 3 episode 1? Season 3
episode 1. I don't remember
the Ant-Man scene.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
right. You just say that, you just know. Okay. They haven't done that yet. They've tried to mimic that, but it hasn't gone there yet. There's a scene in the second episode, Eli, that I've seen some people just said, nope, I'm out. I'm done. So I want to see where you go with that, because even I was just like, whoa, what the fuck? So it didn't got there yet, but I'm still there. I still want to see where it's going. So I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 5. Yeah. Just based off the first episode. What do you think?
I'll give it a 3. And like I said, I watched episode 1, but it was enough. Fair. Yeah, it was enough. It wasn't great. Mm-hmm. But I didn't, I'm still there. I'm still going to watch it. But yeah, okay. I wasn't it's not grabbing me like it used to. Yeah.
Right. That's a fair, since you watched the first one, that's fair. Here's the thing. The third episode bumped me up a little bit. I was like, when it got to the third episode, I was like, okay, we have movement. We have momentum. Okay, we're going somewhere with this. First 2 episodes, I like, so that's why I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5. Hopefully the going forward, it'll pick up from there. So we'll just see how it goes. Mm-hmm. All right, let me say, let's move on to the next part of the podcast. Okay, Eli, I should have asked you this before we podcast, but I completely forgot about it, so I'm gonna ask you this now. Did you watch the Acolyte?
Yes.
Okay, I gotta watch this. I gotta ask you every time.
Shit.
I don't know if you're gonna be like, I'm out, I'm done.
Do we want to go here?
we have to. We have no choice, Eli. We have no choice to go there. I know it's the rule to not talk about Star Wars on this podcast, but we have to break the rule this week, if nothing else. The reason because now, from what have you heard the chatter? I know. Yeah, people are pissed. I know people are pissed. People are pissed. People are pissed.
Yeah.
Like pissed. First off, Eli, I'm pissed at us. At us. You know why I'm pissed at us? Because we didn't jump on it when everybody else jumped on it. Because these other right-wing YouTubers, these grifters right now, Eli, oh my goodness, they are hand over fist right now. Man, it's just money. It's just money hand over fist right now, man. Eli, we could have bought. You could have bought a tank by now. I could have had the AT&T girl by now, because these dudes are making millions right now, shitting on this episode, and everybody's clicking on it. And we waited till now, which now it's over with by now in internet terms.
Yeah, but this podcast we could be doing we could be recording this podcast on the French Riviera.
Right.
In a villa.
Just saying fuck Star Wars. All we had to just say fuck Star Wars. And everybody just living the life. But here we are now just talking about. So now we have to give our honest opinion. Shout out to Vernon. Shout out to Vernon, because he listened to the last episode, and he said shout out to us because we were the only positive review of the last episode of Acolyte. And I was like, when you think about it, I was like, yeah, we kind of were. And I didn't even think we were that positive. It was like, it was all right.
It was okay. Which in internet terms, yeah.
But we didn't, tear our hair out and shit like that and kick over tables and shit like that. So I guess technically that counts as positive.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing. Everybody has watched the Acolyte. Everybody has heard every big name YouTube, which we will not name. We have named all the podcasts we're going to name on this podcast right now. We're not naming any other ones. So you've heard what they had to say, but here's the thing. None of their opinions matter. All these guys don't matter. There's only one opinion that really matters when you talk about Star Wars, and that's Eli's.
Oh, that's right. OG 77, son.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah.
He's the only opinion that matters. So I'm going to sit back, shut the fuck up, and I'm going to let Eli give his review on. Before you go, Eli, here's the thing. One more thing about this episode. I do want to say this. I feel like, regardless of what anybody's opinion of this episode is, I do feel like this is the most talked about Star Wars episode we've had in years.
Yeah.
Whether that's a good thing or bad thing, I'm just saying it's creating dialogue. But I'm gonna let you go. What you think about it?
Well, like I said, my opinion still stands as last week. I don't hate this show. You know, I don't hate it. You know, but I don't love it either. It's okay. It's perfectly fine as a Star Wars show. It's fine. You know, I don't love it either. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm just mildly entertained by it. You know, which has basically been how Star Wars been for a while for me. I mean, sure, there's some. I loved Andor, and I loved the first couple seasons of Mando, you know, and I love Bad Batch. You know, yeah, there's stuff that I like more than others, but for the most part, most of this stuff is just okay to me, you know, and that's how I feel this is. This is just okay, you know. I as far as this episode, as May, that character, she's now annoying. I didn't feel she was a strong villain in the first 2 episodes. This episode I'm annoyed by it. I find her annoying now. You know,
honestly, I think both of the twins are pieces of shit. That's just but...
You know, I think the witches that there's some corny stuff in it. Yeah, like I said, you said like it's very young adult. It's kind of like a CW show. Yes, that in that sense, it's kind of corny and cheesy at times. You know, I thought the witches ritual where they're all writhing and chant. Yeah, that chant and stuff. I thought that was very corny.
With that, they really did. They thought that was. Let me stop. Okay.
But no, I thought that was very cheesy and corny and kind of stereotypical witchy cult. You know, hot topic shit. You know, trying to. It reminded. I'm indigenous. I'm native. It reminds me of non-natives at the powwow. You know, where they're trying too hard. They're trying really hard to fit in and trying to out-native everybody else. It's, you know, and they get very cheesy and they throw their bodies into it. And like, dude, we're just dancing here. You're not having an orgasm. You know what I mean? Right. You know, so I thought that was kind of cheesy, you know? So yeah, there's that all the things that people don't like about it, I do see, and I'm not enjoying it either. You know, those same things. However, what I do like about it, as a standalone episode, I do like the message. I do like, hey, be honest. Have the strength to be honest. When the one Jedi was telling Osha, you can't be afraid to tell the truth. You know, and I thought that's a very powerful message. Like, don't be afraid to be who you are. You know, and I think during Pride Month, that's a very strong message to make. And of course, all the anti-woke crowd is probably pissed off and I don't give a fuck. Fuck them, you know, and they're sensitive tits and shit. Fuck them, you know. But I thought that was a very strong message because not only, you know, it doesn't only apply to the Pride crowd, but it's a universal message for anybody. Don't be afraid to be the individual who you are. Don't be afraid of your own individuality. I just think that's a very powerful statement. So in that sense, I thought that was well done. You know, everyone's talking about, oh, it's bad writing and writing sucks. No, I thought that was done pretty well. Because when you look at the Jedi is like this religious sect. And then those witches are like a religious sect. So though Osha is basically rebelling against the same religious dogma as like, you know, that the Jedi are. They're a reflection of the Jedi. So she's going against against tradition, against the grain, to be who she wants to be.
She wants to be an individual, even apart from her sisters. So.
Yeah, even though her culture and her religion, you know, forbids it. You know, so I thought that was very well done. You know, and in the end, the mother said, "No, go ahead. You want to be a Jedi? Go ahead." You know.
Well, did she say that?
Kind of, sorta. You know.
Okay. Maybe I got to watch the episode again. But from what I got from it, she was like, okay, go meet with the Jedi, go talk to Jedi. But she told both of them to lie.
Yeah. I think Osha or the other one was really wanting to lie. But,
But she told them both to lie.
I'll have to watch.
Osha just didn't do it. Yeah, Osha just didn't do it.
I thought the mom was like more supportive. That's what I got out of it.
No, but I think because she straight told us, she was like, look, if you go, you're never going to see us again. Like, that's just what it is. So I don't think the mom was being supportive, but she wasn't just like, I don't know. Maybe I
gotta. Maybe I'll go watch it again. But either way, my point being is they're the witches are like another religious order, like the Jedi, you know. And everyone's bitching about how the Jedi are portrayed really shitty. I don't agree because the Jedi have always been viewed differently by different planets. This has gone on in the extended universe, in old comics, in old books. The Mandalorians originally, Boba Fett, his people, they didn't like the Jedi. You know, I just read a bunch of Quinlan Vos comics, and he came from a planet with Force-sensitive wizards and shit who viewed the Jedi as like a religious order that colonized the galaxy. And they didn't trust the Jedi either. So he reluctantly joined the order, you know?
Okay,
so
tag me in.
So the idea that the Jedi aren't as cool as everyone thinks is not a new concept in the Star Wars universe. So, yeah.
Okay, tag me in. I'm glad you said that. That shit on the Jedi is not a new concept. It does feel like ever since Disney got a hold of them, that's all they've been doing.
Well, okay. So, I'll let you finish, but go ahead.
Oh, I'll finish.
Okay, yeah. So now that you've said that, and I've explained what I did like about the episode, these are the things I did like about the episode. Mm-hmm. However,
you did like this show, right?
However, I agree. The legacy. I get what people are saying about the legacy of the Star Wars universe and how these newer shows tend to shit on our favorite characters and our favorite themes and shit. You know, right. I feel that whole thing about them making the jet, like how they manifested these twins out of the Force, I felt that undermines Anakin and the whole legend of Anakin.
Thank you, Eli, because I did not want to go to war with you tonight over that.
Okay, yeah. I do get that. I do like, okay.
Here's my thing. Anakin is the chosen one.
Yeah.
Keyword. One.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be one person that does that shit. So you just can't go around just making clone babies and Force babies and shit anytime you feel like it.
And Palpatine spent his whole life trying to create an ultimate Sith. That's what the clones were for. That's what Snoke was supposed to be. So Palpatine couldn't do it.
Right.
But these chicks, these witches, just, here's some twins out of the so it kind of undermines.
Not one, but two, right?
Yeah, they just like, we can do that with our ass, while taking a shit, So it just kind of undermines, the legacy, the original lore, and that's how I'm like, okay. And I get it. I get, I get the themes that they're trying to go for, but like everything else,
okay, now keep in mind everything we're doing, we're having serious. Like, we're pointing out things we don't like about the show.
Yeah.
Notice what we didn't say. Woke.
Yeah.
All this other bullshit. So you can't just lump everybody that has a problem with this show into, you're a racist, homophobe, transphobe, incel. We're not all in the same boat. You can have issues with the show and have no problem with all the other bullshit going on. Like, it's just... we're naming what we have an issue with the show. Yeah,
that's all. Well, I don't give a shit.
But you can't say that. You can't say that.
Because that's how
with the show. You're fucking racist.
That's how the internet is. Yeah, the internet's people are. Yeah.
Once it's zeros, baby. Once it's zeros.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
So I do feel, and that's what I feel like a lot of these shows have done. I felt like the Mando shit on the Mandalorians. They blew up his ship. They fucking turned Boba Fett into the bitch that everyone thought he was. He's a bumbling idiot in the book of Boba Fett. They break the dark saber. Like, they just shit on the Mandalorians and make them. They're falling out of the sky and dying. Like, what the fuck?
That was kind of funny though. I know it's not funny for you because they're your guys, but for me that shit was funny.
Yeah, I'm like, what the? You're shitting on Mandalorians. You're shitting on. Obi-Wan, like kicking Vader's ass over and over and over again, and I get it. Yes, the lightsabers in the Obi-Wan show are all dazzling and got all this pizzazz. And yes, in 1977, the lightsaber duels didn't have this great choreography for the kids who grew up on the prequels and shit. I get all that, but it wasn't about the choreography. It was about the emotional weight of that scene. These were two rival foes meeting together after years, of not seeing each other. But it turns out they've been seeing each other every week, and Obi-Wan's been kicking his ass.
like you invite your boy before a game of Mortal Kombat. That's what they've been doing. So hey man,
so it's like they're just shitting on, that's what I feel. They're just shitting on, the legacy, and that's where I'm like, but however.
I don't even know what side you on right now. I don't know if you gonna however fuck this show.
That being said, I'm used to this shit by now because I'm an OG 77 Star Wars fan. That I thought that I wasn't a prequel fan. I didn't like what the prequels did. So I'm used to Star Wars not being what I want it to be. And I've felt like that for decades now. So I'm pretty much used to this shit. So when I see everybody bitching and losing their fucking shit over this, show, I'm like, dude, this has been always going on.
I do want to point out that all these people, like, I know everybody's watching these YouTube, because these YouTube grifters, millions of views on these Acolyte, they're shitting on. I do want everybody to understand they're putting on a performance for you. It's a grip. They have admitted it. They said it out their own mouths. They don't, just like Eli's just like he's apathetic about this shit. They said it too.
Yeah.
They just getting over anxious and just kicking over shit because they put on a performance for you. Because they know they want you to click into it.
Yeah.
So that's all I want to do.
But I'm still go ahead.
Something good about this episode.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Let's say something good about this episode. Okay. And the thing I'm saying is the thing that everybody else hated on this episode, but the thing I like about it, the fact that the thread, they changed that shit to thread.
Oh, the Force or whatever.
Yeah, people hated that stuff like that, but I think I like that because when we think about what the how they're portraying the Jedi in this episode, the Jedi of the Catholic Church, that's what they are.
Yeah, they're a religious order. Yes,
they're religious order. They see other people practicing because the thread is just the same thing as it's the same thing, it's just calling something different.
Yeah,
it's the same thing like other religions. Like different people call. Okay, well let's go here. Hold up. It was a comment that I wasn't going to click, but I'm gonna click it now just because it's relevant to what we were talking about now. Are you a Christian? We'll talk about that in a second. Point is that God is called by different names by different religions. You have Elohim, you have Yahweh, you have Jehovah, you have all these names out there, but guess what? It's all God. It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
You just have different religions calling different things. So when the Catholic Church going on, and then you have the Norse Vikings, Thor.
Yeah.
People worship Thor at one point.
Yeah.
Then the Catholic Church came in there, and now he's a comic book character. So that's how it happened. So that's the same thing that these witches are also. They have their own religious sector, but they know if the Jedi find out what they're doing, they're gonna cut the shit out because nobody's allowed. Because basically, Jedi saying that nobody's allowed to practice the Force other than them. Nobody's practice this religion other than them.
Yeah,
it's all the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's
one
thing I did.
And that goes like back to Quinlan Voss, those comic books. Yes, they were Force users. I mean, Quinlan Voss had that psychometry where he can touch an object and know the history, and that's how he was a tracker and shit,
Right.
And so it was that same concept. It's just different cultures that viewed the Empire or the Republic at the time as just, an empire that was just trying to take over the galaxy, colonize the galaxy.
They said that anybody that's not practicing the Force that we practice is evil. The same way, like we said, Thor and everything else was paganism.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Meanwhile, they take all the. Let's stop.
Yeah.
All right. So that's my thing. So everybody wants to say like this is the worst episode. So let me ask you this, Eli. Did this? I think you already answered this question, but I just want to make sure we're clear to say that. Did this episode break Star Wars?
No.
Okay. That's all I want to say, because that's pretty much the thing going around. They're saying that this particular episode right here broke Star Wars.
Yeah, because what I'm seeing, like I said, I'm an OG fan. I saw the original trilogy in the theater before George Lucas changed it.
Yeah.
So what I'm seeing is what I've been seeing for a long time, and that's like every generation not getting into the new generation.
Right.
Like I didn't enjoy the prequels, but a bunch of people did. A bunch of people, that's their trilogy. That's where they started on. So they love the prequels. And then those people hate the new sequel, hate the Disney shit.
Nobody's gonna like those. Nobody's gonna like that.
So but like there's people who are there's kids that are getting into this shit. I thought that shit too. There's people who grew up on the Clone Wars. Like that was their first thing in the Star Wars was the Clone Wars. That's why they loved Ahsoka. because that was, they saw that as they were kids, and they love that. So it's like I keep seeing generations and generations getting into this shit, and I just think that's a cool thing, as a Star Wars fan.
Now we do have to, as far as this episode, Eli, even though I know we don't want to talk about it, we do have to address the elephant in the room with this episode.
Okay.
Lesbian space witches.
Okay.
That we got to talk about it, because honestly, that's been the tagline everybody's been talking about. I never thought that would end up in Star Wars, because the last time I saw a sci-fi show with space lesbian witches was Emmanuel, Queen of the Galaxy.
Damn, you're going deep.
I'm going deep. See, it's some people that don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but those that do know what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. That's all I'm saying.
Well, now, everyone bitching about lesbian space witches is going to have no problem with Sydney Sweeney doing the same shit in Barbarella. So fuck the fuck off, all you motherfuckers. You're all full of shit. Jerking off to lesbian porn, but bitching about this. Fuck y'all. Pride month, motherfucker.
No said. That's okay.
Yeah. Got the nerve to jerk off to lesbians, but then don't want them to have rights. Fuck y'all. Fuck out of here.
Oh man, I think we said all we can say about this episode. So, okay. All right, let me say we can move on to the next part of the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to something lighter. We're gonna talk about the Vidja Game section, Eli. All right, so we're gonna talk about Street Fighter 6. I've been in Street Fighter 6 now. We're coming to summertime where you're gonna start getting like Evo and all these other gaming tournaments coming up, stuff like that, because it's summertime. And Eli, I've been noticing something that I've been talking about Street Fighter, how I've been getting my ass beat lately.
Yeah.
Now, after a while,
did you finally kick some ass?
No, I didn't. But I came to a epiphany, if you will, a realization. I realized what's going on. Why I've been getting my ass whooped. It's my controller. It's not me.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's not me. Obviously,
it's the controller.
Me.
Yeah,
it's the controller. Here's the thing, Eli. I know something was going wrong. Reason I'm saying that is because, okay, if some dude on the internet beats me, in his mom's basement, this got a Sydney Sweeney body pillow that beats my ass on Street Fighter, that's cool. I can deal with that. The problem is my friends were beating my ass. We can't have that, Eli. We can't have that. Are
you using your Gordon Gartrell?
No, I threw that shit away. I threw that shit away a long time, because my thing is, Eli, do you understand that when my friends beat my ass, it upsets the balance of everything? Like, because I'm supposed to be the guy that's supposed to do all this shit while they do all this shit. So if they're beating my ass, it kind of throws off the whole dynamic of the relationship. Like, the universe is off balance if they beat me. So here's what I decided to do: buy another controller. I'll show you. Okay. Got it right here. Okay. It's all white. I didn't want it all white because I know it's going to get dirty. It's the only one I can get at the time. Got it on a discount, but that's okay. So after this podcast, I'm getting back on Street Fighter.
Oh, I thought you were saying, so watch what I did with this controller. I thought you had a clip ready for us.
No. I'm learning it. Okay. I've been getting my ass beat with it also, but I feel I'm not getting my ass beat as much. So next week I'll have some good footage for you on the new controller, how I'm beating everybody else like that, and restore the balance to the universe. Because right now everything is thrown off right now. So
okay.
That's why it's raining outside, because we get my ass beat. All right. Let me say we can move on to the next part of the podcast.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, it's comic books, where we talk about comic book bullies. We talk about comic books, and I'm trying to say who's gonna go first. Lee, I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay.
Okay. What book did you?
Blood Hunt. Do some Blood Hunt. Get Blood Hunt out of the way.
Let's just get this bullshit out the way. I ain't even read it, so I can't even say if it's bullshit or not. But yeah.
You're not on the summer blockbuster, Marvel summer blockbuster.
I think I'm boycotting. I'm gonna tell you why I'm boycotting. Okay, I think I have a good reason. Reason I'm boycotting is because Marvel is selling the Red Band books elsewhere, and they're not telling us where they're selling them. So if you're gonna sell us half a book and you're selling us the real version of the book, we gotta spend all this money to buy like a neutered PG version of the book. Fuck this book. So let's wait till the shit's over and be done with it. So that's my thing.
I didn't read
unless you sell me on it, Eli.
I did not read the Red Band. I did not read any of the Red Band books because I can't find it.
Because the Red Band is on their website. It's on their website. They say, hey, we also got a Red Band, but they have no way to purchase it. Zero.
Yeah.
So that's
I
what
tried to go get a physical copy of the first issue, and they were out.
Because I refuse to double buy this book. I am not doing that. Fuck you, Marvel. But
yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, like give people a synopsis of.
So you can tell that no one's paying us after what he just said.
You're right. It was my fault. Yeah, we're not Comic Story. They will not honor us.
Yeah, we're not getting paid for any of this shit. This is all free entertainment. Like I said, listen at your own discretion.
Right.
Don't at us. No.
All right.
All right. So Blood Hope number 3. This is like I said.
Shout out to Jeffrey Verrigan.
Yeah, that's Jeffrey Verrigan. Right? Rest in peace. Yeah. Good journey, brother. He's a native
this whole
artist.
Month they've been giving him a shout out. So
yeah, there's his artwork. He did a lot of cool covers. Indigenous artists. So yeah. So this is Blood Hunt, Marvel's big summer event, where vampires have taken over the earth, and Blade is leading them. So Blade is possessed by some evil something and is leading this giant vampire war against the Avengers. And some of them have like basically turned into vampires. As you saw on the cover, Miles Morales is a vampire, and he comes right in the beginning, he comes jumping into the sanctum and starts attacking everybody, but Doctor Strange puts a spell and basically takes away his hunger. Still a vampire, but he's not going to like suck anybody's blood. So he kind of puts them, Oh yeah, and then there's Blade. Blade is
Doctor Strange dead or something?
Yeah, he's a vampire, but he's his astral plane self is still in there doing shit.
He's a ghost vampire?
No, he's just Doctor. Well, his ghost ain't a vampire. His body is.
Okay, yeah, we'll say you say his astral plane. Like, okay, I was
yeah.
Okay, so he's dead, but his astral plane is floating around. So he's
ghost. Yeah. Basically, he's ghost. Okay. He's astral plane Doctor Strange, and his body's a vampire. Yeah. So yeah, and Blade.
Okay. His body's a vampire. His body running around doing crazy shit.
I think they put a spell on his body. They put a spell. I don't know, dude. Why don't you read this shit, man? Asking me all these questions. I don't know. I barely pay attention to myself. There's 1,000 tie-ins to this shit too that I'm not reading.
Right.
But so basically they make a plan. They're like, okay, first of all, we need to get back the sun because the vampires put a dark energy around the earth and blocked out the sun. So it's endless night. So they need to get back the sun. So a couple of them say, okay, we're going to go do that. And then people said somebody else is going to do. They're basically splitting up into like basically planning shit out. And then the Avengers are like, and then we're gonna call out Blade and get Blade out of. He's in Wakanda. Blade's in Wakanda. I think that's
Blade. Okay.
Yeah, because yeah, I forget. Blade. They don't want to go meet him on his turf, so that we got to call him out. I also forgot. Blade's daughter has to be the one to take him out. Because I'm
pretty sure it's a good reason behind it, but
because of reasons. Yeah. Dracula told her that, like, you're his daughter. You're gonna have to be the one to get close to him and take him out. So she gets all pissed off and runs off, and then they go chase her. And I think that's a tie-in. We go see what happens.
We haven't read. Okay.
Yeah. and like, yeah, basically all the plans. Was it Tigra and somebody else has to go try to get the sun back. So that's a tie-in. Them trying to get the sun to shine again.
Okay.
And then
that's Blood Hunters or whatever.
Yeah, and then I forget somebody else is doing something. I think magic, some kind of magic, and that's a tie-in. And then this book is the Avengers. Okay, we got to get Blade to come to us. So Captain America, in this case, it's Sam America. Okay. he gets on like the feed and broadcasts this big ass inspiring speech, to inspire everybody. It's like, we're the Avengers, motherfuckers. We've dealt with this shit before. We kicked Null's ass. We kicked Hydra's ass. We kick everybody's ass. And you vampires, we're going to kick your ass too. And just basically gives this big inspiring speech. And Blade's like, oh, hell no. That's it. Let's go. So that's about where it is.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's all right. Like it's okay. it's the Avengers versus vampires. It's it's all right.
I guess. I don't know.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm talking all this shit, but I actually did read one of the tie-ins.
Yeah, the Black Panther one, right?
Yeah, that one and another one.
Oh, okay. You read one?
The Avengers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. But not that Avengers. I mean, it's Avengers, but it's like the backup team, the B team or whatever, because the first team got taken out by Blade and his Vampire Avengers. What the Blood Coven or something?
Something like that.
Something like that. Okay. Yeah. So this is the B team Avengers. Still led
by Captain America. This is your review. Okay.
This is my review. Oh, my fault. Yeah. This is my review. So we're doing Blood Hunt Captain America. I'm sorry, Blood Hunt Avengers. But it's like a team Captain America, Steve Rogers put together to fight vampires in New York. Because everybody's every place in Wakanda and in space and shit like that. They're in New York. They're trying to save New York. So yeah. So that's the thing. Let's start with the team. I'll probably do a recap of who's on the team. Let's see. Okay. Oh, so the last issue, remember there was a helicarrier that was over New York snatching up, kidnapping people, and they found out it was Baron Blood, Vampire Batman, whatever, All right. Okay. So yeah. So Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, she asked Captain America, "Wait, how do you know this guy? He's like 100-year-old Nazi vampire." And Cap asking her, like, "You really think I wouldn't know a 100-year-old Nazi vampire?" So they fight. So she shoots him with an arrow. Cap throws his shield. He catches the arrow, catches the shield. He's like, "Y'all gotta do better than that." And then burns his hand because Cap coated his shield with silver because he's fighting vampires. So yeah. So Baron Blood like, "Okay, well, fine. Let's go 1-on-1 then." And Captain America like, "Okay, I'm gonna take Baron Blood 1-on-1, and since I'm gonna take him out, y'all, I'm gonna leave the vampires disorganized. Y'all get them. But if you leave, we'll be disorganized." Like, "No, you won't, because you're Avengers." And let's go. So Cap actually runs away. He doesn't fight him. He runs away. Reason he's running away is because he's trying to like lure him through there. Meanwhile, Hercules on the team also. He's like the strong guy. Oh, and you got Hazmat. She's a young Avenger, whatever, strange Avenger. I don't know. Anyway, she has the power to create any kind of radiation. She creates sunlight. She blinds them, doesn't kill them, and lets them run away. Well, they basically look for them, because what they're doing is that these vampires are kidnapping people and storing them on us. So they're going to rescue the people. So while Hercules grabs her and jumps out the way, Quicksilver has a stake in his hand because they can't see it. They've been blinded. And Quicksilver's like, "Don't worry, I'll take him out." So he's going to, super speed, stab all of them and shit. Meanwhile, Captain America run away from Baron Blood. He's like, "I'm going to catch you, Captain America. I've been trying to kill you for centuries, and I'm going to do this shit." Talking all this cash money shit. And Captain America's just luring him, he's flying after him. Meanwhile, they're still fighting vampires, and they find the people, and they basically escort him through escape pods. And basically, she's saying she always wanted to be on a helicarrier. She always wanted to be a shield agent. She never was. They eject and all shit like that. So they run away, and then that's when they find out. Cap's like, "Okay, I got him where I want him to. Did you get all the people out?" And they find out there's some way more people in there. Baron Blood finally catches up with them. He's like, "Captain America, I'm gonna turn you into one of my minions and shit." And Captain America finds out that there's way more vampires on the ship than what they thought it was, because he was keeping the vampires in coffins until they finally eventually take over the world. Meanwhile, they find out that there's way more people on board also, because basically he's like gonna feed them to his vampire people when they finally take over the world. So she's like, "Okay, we can free these people, but if I free them, they're gonna act all crazy and shit like that." And that's when Kate Bishop's like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna give." She decides to give this rousing speech and shit like that. Oh, and Captain America like kills all the vampires. He like throws a grenade right into him, and boom, blows them up, kills all the vampires. They dead. And Kate Bishop gives a rousing speech to get everybody. We're the Avengers. You have a living god. You have a super speedster. We need you to help us take them out. And yeah, so they're all going to team up and take out the vampires and shit. Meanwhile, Captain America where was he leading Baron Blood to the whole time? To the steering wheel of the helicarrier, because Captain America's like, out of all people you want to run around a helicarrier, you wanted me to run around a helicarrier? Because like I said, he used to run S.H.I.E.L.D. So he used to run it. He used to own a helicarrier. So he's driving it, and he's about to crash it into New York. To be continued. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it. I kind of just ran through this shit. Kind of easy breezy. kind of a throwaway book, but it's like, yeah, Nazi vampire, whatever. So yeah. 3.5 out of 5. The definition of filler. but
yeah.
I like this team. I like this team dynamic. You know, Quicksilver, Hercules, Kate Bishop, Cap. It's a fun dynamic, even though the story is just throwaway. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, like we thought this about DC versus vampires. Like it's all right, you know.
Yeah, it's whatever. So,
like it's just fine. It's like it's the summer blockbuster, you know. So
yeah, so that's cool. But at least in that one, that alternate universe DC shit, like they would turn it into zombies and shit. You know,
yeah,
that's pretty cool. So all right, so yeah, what you got next?
Well, I have Transformers number 9.
Transformers number 9. Okay.
The Energon universe continues. So yeah, I've been, you know, everybody who knows, who's been listening, I've been all over this book. This is like my favorite comic right now. Daniel Warren Johnson, he's no longer drawing it.
Oh man, because didn't he say that he was only going to draw like so many issues?
Yeah, so he's still writing it, you know. So yeah, we got Jorge Corona and Mike Spicer doing the art, and Daniel Warren Johnson.
I mean, it's just mimicking his art style, though.
Yeah. Still very but he's still writing it, and he's a solid writer too, you know.
Yeah.
So basically, this has, you know, last issue, Soundwave is back on Cybertron, and the Decepticons have opened up the space bridge to bring him here because they found that Earth has all this energy to reignite Cybertron's energy. So they bring Soundwave over.
Okay.
And yeah, so then there's the big battle. Optimus Prime and a bunch of Autobots show up and they start, you know, fighting. They kill Ratchet. Is that who it was? Ratchet's like the ambulance.
Okay, the white
and a Cliff Jumper. Was it Cliff Jumper? They were right about to shoot Cliff Jumper, but Ratchet jumps in front and takes the shot and dies. You know, and then we go back to Earth, and Spike, who's been injured in the hospital, the human kid, he gets kidnapped by not A-Train. What's his name? Auto Train or whatever. That you remember that space shuttle, that purple space shuttle? I don't know if you remember them.
Was it good or bad?
He's a Decepticon. He's a bad guy.
I think I remember him. Yeah. But okay, yeah. That was the one they all the Decepticons flew around with in space. Yeah,
he was like the black and purple space shuttle. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah, so he comes to the hospital and kidnaps, you know, Spike, and basically said, "Yeah, I'm gonna take you, and I'm taking you back to the Decepticons, and we're gonna experiment on you and shit." And he regrets it too. I'm sorry about this. You know, I really feel sorry for your people. I'm not really, you know, here to destroy weaker beings than me, but we need the Earth's energy, and we're here to take it. And you guys are all going to die, and I feel really bad about that. You know. But then who was it? Somebody saves him. What the hell was that? I gotta look it up now. He gets saved. It wasn't Gears. Who was it? Another Autobot ends up saving, like basically jumps onto Auto Train when he's flying and breaks Spike out. I'm just waiting for Kindle to load.
Oh, so they saved Spike in this issue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was that? Beachcomber.
The fuck?
Beachcomber's another Autobot. He saves Spike, crashes Auto Train, and
you digging in the crates with this one. I'm like,
yeah. This is going deep, and basically saves Spike. Says, "Come on, I'm here to rescue you," and that's where it says to be continued. You know, so basically, yeah, the space bridge is open. Soundwave came through the door, so yeah, they have the gateway to Cybertron now. You know, and yeah, we still haven't seen any G.I. Joes yet. You know, so for those who don't know, this Energon universe is Transformers and G.I. Joe going to be crossing over. And we've had the Duke and the Cobra Commander books, and now there's the Scarlet book, and the Destro book, I think, is coming out next week. And that they're dealing with, they've been finding giant robots. They don't know it's the Transformers yet, but they're mentioning giant robots. Cobra Commander saw Megatron's remains, and they're using his energy and shit. Destro's using the Energon energy to make weapons, and so yeah, they're crossing over, but they're doing just enough. They're not all. It's all building. It's fun watching them build up to this crossover event. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, this is like my favorite book right now. 4 out of 5. Did not much happen. I mean, there was some cool action as always. But yeah, it's still a lot of fun. So I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Nice. Okay. All right. So where are we at now? Where was that? My last book I'm going to do. Right. Still on retro. Okay. But we're getting close to the end.
Oh, yes. I always forget until you bring it up.
This is the penultimate issue of it. So this is one before we're about to finish it up. For those who know what we're talking about Captain America, 90s Captain America, Streets of Poison is what we're doing. Let me see if I can get this bad boy in here. So for those that haven't been keeping up what's going on, some of you have, but for those that haven't keeping up going on, Captain America is on meth. That's the storyline. So yeah. And he's trying to stop a drug war, and obviously since he's on meth, he's losing. So yeah. So they finally caught him in the last issue. So we know where Captain America is right now. He's caught in the last issue, headed back to Avengers Mansion, and this book advertises Crossbones versus Bullseye. So we finally get them meeting for the first time and squaring off with each other. So boom, let's see where we go to. I hope this is where I left off. I hope this is where we are, because I kind of forgot. I might have lost track where we are in this book. Let's see where we at. Okay, so book starts off with Bullseye and Red Skull. Okay, so Red Skull is having a meeting with Bullseye, Crossbones, because Crossbones was supposed to assassinate Kingpin in the last issue. He fucked it up. So he basically having a meeting with Red Skull, asking him why he fucked it up. Meanwhile, Bullseye is on the balcony getting ready to assassinate Red Skull. He's like, okay, as soon as he gets out this meeting, I'm putting it in there. So Crossbones, and he's telling him, okay, you got to drive me to the meth lab tomorrow. And we're going to finish the conversation. He's like, cool. Boom. As soon as he leaves the room, Bullseye jumps in there. Boom. Headshots Red Skull. Headshot. Book's over. Everybody go home. Okay. So he's like, well, that was easy. And then Crossbones jumps in. He was like, what did you do? And then here we go. So he starts shooting. He was like, damn, that was a fast shot. So he's faster than he thought he was. He started shooting at him, blast him, keep blasting. And he was like, okay, I'm out of ammo. You can come out. And he comes out with a table. So, but he's got a shield, throws it off the wall, bounce on the back of Bullseye. Bam, close range, not even a competition. He's about to crush the scope before he even a chance with it. But Bullseye has more weapons on him. Oh, and he spits his fake tooth out in Crossbones' eye. The fake tooth that he had like in the second issue of this run. So spits that in his face. And when he's blinded, boom, stabs him in the arm and just runs away. He was like, and you owe me a fake tooth, Chubbs. And while he does that, he does a Die Hard out of the window. So he jumps out the window, cable guns the side of the building, and then goes in through the bottom window and just disappears. And Crossbow like, fuck, where'd he go to? So he realized he lost him, and Red Skull's dead. Or is he? It was a robot the whole time. And the robot's telling him, I'm just a robot. Still make sure you meet me at the meth lab tomorrow. Or wait for further instructions. You're like, damn, okay. So where's finally Captain America in the book? So what happened to Captain America? Captain America was high on drugs, still high on drugs, but the reason he was hallucinating, going crazy, was because he hadn't slept in a week. That's what's making him go nuts. So they got him there, and they're like, they can't really do anything on him because this is way past my expertise. So they're just waiting for Hank Pym to get there. Hank Pym is on the West Coast with the West Coast Avengers, so they got to wait for him to come to the East Coast Avengers. So until then, Cap is sedated, and they're like, until then, we can't do anything. So then you got Diamondback and Black Widow. They're having a conversation, and Black Widow is trying to tell Diamondback, I know you love Cap, I know you care for Cap, but she's mad at her because she hesitated in the last fight. And when she could have took Cap out with those diamond tips, she didn't do it. She was like, so next time, make sure you do that. Now, I understand you're trying to get your shit together because you're a former assassin. I'm a former assassin. We'll do our thing. So, and she's like, if you need some tips or techniques, call me sometime. And then Black Widow just walks out, and Diamondback thinks to herself, damn, did I just turn gay? So, yeah. So, back to Kingpin. What did Kingpin just do? Bullseye's bragging, talking about the Red Skull is the dead skull. And Kingpin like, yeah, okay, whatever. he don't believe for a word that Bullseye actually killed King Red Skull, but he believes that Bullseye thinks that. So he tell Bullseye, disappear, leave me alone, don't go anywhere, don't contact me in the next 90 days. I'll contact you when you need to. So this is it. Bullseye's out of the book. He's done. So, and Typhoon Mayor's like, you really think he did that? He was like, of course he didn't do that. Bullseye ain't that good. So, but at least we know who's running the meth in the city right now. So we got to find out what's going on. And meanwhile, Red Skull realized that if Kingpin has guys good enough to touch him in New York, then Kingpin's not some random ass silly drug dealer the whole time. He's actually a force to be reckoned with, because that's why he's trying to take over Kingpin's territory, because he had no respect for Kingpin. But now he realized Kingpin is that guy. So meanwhile, we got Captain America, and he is been asleep the whole time and he's dreaming, and we get a dream sequence of when he became a super, when the first time he became a super soldier. And he sees the needle that gave him the powers to begin with, and he realized how much it looks like a junkie's needle. And who he meets? Dr. Erskine, the guy that, you know, invented the super soldier serum to begin with. And he was like, is the super soldier serum a drug, doctor? You're like, of course it's a drug. Everything special about you, Rogers, came out of a needle.
Oh, okay.
That's what he really wanted to say. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. No,
Yeah.
I'll say it later.
Okay. Oh yeah. So he's just like, without the drugs, you were nothing. And he was like, no, what are you talking about? I am not the super soldier serum. Yes, it made me strong, but it didn't make me brave. Yes, it gave me speed. It didn't give me skills. It didn't give me training. I made that for myself. He was like, no, you ain't shit. And so Erskine turns into Red Skull in his mind. He was like, you are nothing. You just the first person to get the drug. If we gave that drug to anybody, they would have came him. Look at you. You're just another drug addict. You're just another junkie on the street. You can't do anything without your drugs, without your serum. And he's basically talking shit to him in the day. And that's when Captain America's like, nah, you can't do it, because y'all done had all these super soldiers, people to take super soldier drugs before. Hulk, US agent, all these other people. None of them are me. That was the reason I'm Captain America. And Captain America's just flipping the fuck out. He's just tearing apart the bed, throwing shit, you know, all stuff like that. The drugs are nothing to do with me. And then he's just on the ground, just, you know, in the fetal position. Hank Pym finally walks in the room, sees him. Cap's looking like Pookie on New Jack City, you know. So he's like, help me, Hank, help me. He's like, man, don't worry. So Cap's fucked up. He's out of it. So Hank's like, he's gonna get him back on his feet. So meanwhile, and you know what? Red Skull gave a really compelling argument on why crystal meth took over in the 90s. Because, okay, so you got crack. But the thing is, cheaper. That's one reason. So he's selling all of us on crystal meth. So yeah, it's cheaper. Also, with crack, you know, not all the ingredients of crack are legal, so it's hard to get your hands on it. Meanwhile, with crystal meth, all the components, ingredients of crystal meth are legal. It's the crystal meth itself that's illegal. So that means you don't have to like go over to Nicaragua or, you know, Mexico and fly, you know, components of you make crack in here. It's all right here, baby. It's American made. So yeah. So, but the reason he's here in the meth lab, or we're even here in New York to begin with, because he wants to talk to Lowlife. Lowlife is the guy that started this whole gang war, the whole thing. So he asked Crossbones, where is he? And Crossbones is like, I ain't seen Lowlife in a few weeks. He's like, if I find out somebody got to Lowlife before I could get to him, I'm gonna do this to him. Bam. And he just kills the secretary.
Damn.
It turns into like, you're like, wait, why don't you do that? Because I ain't like the way she was staring at me the whole time. So that's like she did.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're like, and then he tells Crossbones, okay, Crossbones, here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to get on the phone with Kingpin Man. I want you to tell Kingpin that I want to have a face-to-face meeting with him. You're like, okay, we're gonna end this gang war right now. So yeah. So meanwhile, we get back to Hank Pym. He's talking to Dr. Kincaid. I don't know who Dr. Kincaid is, doesn't really matter. And basically he's saying that Hank Pym is telling him, I got bad news. I can't isolate the meth in his system from the super soldier serum, because his body, because in my, you know, scope and everything like that, they both recognize him as foreign bodies. So I can't tell what's what, because they're both drugs. So the only thing we can do to save Cap, we got to give him a blood transfusion. They're like, but if you give Cap a blood transfusion, won't that take the super soldier serum out of his body plus the crystal meth? Like, yeah, we do, but hopefully, maybe, just maybe, if I get it out of his system, I can isolate it then. And Kincaid's like, well, what if you can't? You're like, well, if I can't, well, in order to save Steve Rogers, we may have to kill Captain America. So the only way to save him is to get the super soldier serum out of his body, out of his bloodstream. So we are at the Yankee Stadium, and I found this disrespectful. The score is right now, they're facing the Red Sox, and it's 2-26. Now, how the hell you a New York writer, you write for Marvel, and you have the Yankees getting their ass with that bad? But anyway, we're not gonna talk about that. Kingpin is in the skybox, and basically he talked to like George Steinbrenner or something like that, and basically saying, don't worry, we're gonna, after the game is over, we're gonna leave the Yankee Stadium lights on the whole time, because that's where they're gonna meet Red Skull. So they're gonna meet him in Yankee Stadium, and we've already swept everything. We're gonna make sure nothing's going on like that. Meanwhile, cut back to Cap, and it's done. The blood transfusion is done. So the super soldier serum is out of his body. So why is he still swollen and shit like that? Because he works out every day, and being an Avenger is good cardio. So he's actually not going to lose any muscle mass unless he actually stops, extensive working out. But he needs to know whether or not he can still be Captain America without super soldier serum. So he decides to leave. Meanwhile, Peggy Carter sees him on the monitor. She's like, "Oh, I got to call somebody. I'm not going to get in trouble again." But before she presses the button, she was like, "Wait a minute. Let me just talk to Cap, see what's going on." And she talks to Cap. She's like, "Cap, where you going?" He's like, "Look, I've had the super soldier serum in my body for 100 years or 50 years, whatever you want to say it is. But I need to know now, can I still be Captain America without it? I need to know, is Captain America the drug or the man? So please don't tell anybody, Peggy." And walks out. She's like, "I am so fired." Yeah. So meanwhile, we're at the New York, the Yankee Stadium, and Red Skull helicopters in. And he's just like, "Look, Kingpin, I got snipers on you. You got snipers on me. Let's cut the chit chat. Meet me on the pitcher's mound right now." And Kingpin comes down there, and he talks to him. And Red Skull tries to be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, "I ain't got time for this shit. I'm on a schedule. I have a business run. I'm a busy man. What the fuck do you want, Red Skull?" And while they're about to get their shit going on, Captain America, with no super soldier serum, is headed towards the end of finale of a gang war with all of Kingpin's army, all of Red Skull's army, ready to take him on, to be continued. So yeah.
Right.
And the next issue is the finale of this. So that's it. So that's the whole point. So Captain America has to see, can he be Captain America without drugs? That's the whole point of the story. So this is the most 90s superhero story you could possibly get.
That's funny about that Yankee game, because I think it was last year.
Yeah.
I don't remember what team it was, but the Yankees got their asses whooped. Like,
what?
It was the top of the first inning. I think it was like 12-0. Like the Yankees didn't even get up to bat yet. And it was
that money they pay for the Yankees to get their ass whooped like that.
Yeah, it was pretty sad. I was like, God, because I'm a Yankees fan. I'm from New York, so yes, I'm a Yankees fan.
I was like, you gotta be from New York to be a Yankees fan, because they're like the villains.
Yeah, I get it, but no, I've got it. No, but hey, I remember when they didn't win anything for like 20 years. So
okay. So in the 90s, this makes sense to get their ass whooped like that. So,
yeah.
Okay, that may make sense.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, okay, this is science fiction here to watch the Yankees get their ass whooped like this, especially by the Red Sox.
Well, I was wondering, like, was somebody from Boston that wrote that?
That's what I wanted. Like, no, Grunwald is from New York, I think. There's no way he would write that shit like that. But anyway, that's our sports talk of the night. So
yeah.
Any other books you got, Eli? Or?
No, I'm booked out.
Okay, all right. So, like I said, if you listen to this long, definitely like, share, subscribe. It's been a quiet, easy, breezy night. You know what, Eli? That is okay.
Yeah,
I'm perfectly fine with that, because the last few weeks I love y'all. Y'all have been hectic. Y'all been running us ragged, man. So I don't mind having an easy breezy night this week.
Yeah, like it's a good thing. Yeah, we would have been even shorter if it wasn't for the Star Wars talk. Like,
yeah, we had to go in. Like, we couldn't pass that up. So yeah. And y'all know the routine. Like I said, if you listen longer than 30 seconds, we appreciate you. Just jump in. I know there's a lot of new subscribers jumped in, because I know y'all have been trafficked in here from the orgy video with me, Eli, and David.
Oh yeah.
You know what we're talking about, so it makes sense if you've seen it. So yeah.
That sounds bad, but it's really not.
It's really not. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna come in with something next week. I don't know what we're gonna talk about next week. I think I had it in my mind. Oh, I know we're gonna talk about next week, Eli.
All right.
You may or may not get caught up, but next week is the season finale of Doctor Who.
Oh shit! I haven't watched. Yeah, I have not been caught up. I haven't watched it in a while. Yeah.
If more people were watching that show, they'd be more pissed than it would be a Star Wars.
They'd be. I think because it's not American, they don't care.
It's not American. Like people aren't really. But
it's America. I don't watch that shit.
Yeah. All right. But until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.